Boom! Carla, my girl, my home girl. I am so excited. This is round 2, FYI. You know, I think it really falls in line with the theme of 2020. It's like pivot, challenge, pivot. We just had some technical difficulties, but we're here. And I'm so excited to be here with you. You look gorgeous. How are you?
I am great. Round 2. Heck yeah, dude. We're here. Pivoting through problems, making stuff happen.
Yeah. Seriously, you have been making shit happen, girl. You are on a 4-fight win streak, which is so badass. First of all, so badass, period. But when you think about what you've had to do with 2020 and the fights that you've had in 2020 through quarantine, through COVID, I just feel like there's extra badassery that needs to be respected here, because I can't even imagine what it has been like for you. I mean, at the very top of quarantine, you were on the card that got, essentially it was like almost canceled, but not canceled. So you had to do all this pivoting. And this is before Fight Island, which, yes, I had to wear in honor of you.
Heck yeah, I love that shirt.
Like the leadership that, when I say the UFC, I mean the entire organization, fighters, everybody. In my opinion, the leadership demonstration is superior to all, like through all of this crazy ass shit that we've all been experiencing. It's like in my, how I've been how I've been receiving the UFC, like watching the UFC, how you guys have been maneuvering through everything. It's like, there's no excuses. There's no, everyone's just doing what they need to do to keep everything moving at the highest level possible, while obviously navigating around the safety issues. And it's just to me, and there's just like unity that is so, to my eyes, very obvious. I really do admire leadership as an entrepreneur, as a human being, so, I wear the shirt proud that my girl has been in the first chapter of Fight Island, and also proud of the demonstration of leadership that the entire UFC has been fucking, putting out into the world. So yeah, it's all impressive. How do you feel about it?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's a lot. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think the UFC kind of taking that step to make this happen, even with all the people, all the media and all the people who were, kind of down talking it and criticizing it. It was just like, dude, we don't care. We're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna do it safely, and you're gonna see. And they took that chance, and like they've been taking that chance since the beginning of the UFC. I think that kind of just falls in line with the path the UFC has taken since its inception, and and it's paid off. I think it's paid off for the company. It's paid off for the fighters, and it's just paid off for the sport in general, because when everybody else was, let's call it what it is, too scared, maybe too scared of, what could happen to them, with COVID, or even too scared what the media reaction would, what the public reaction would be. People were too scared, and the UFC was not, and their numbers have been higher than ever, and I think people who take chances are the ones who are successful and reap the benefits.
Yeah, well, girl, you would know all about it. You were the first UFC Strawweight champ, the first Invicta Strawweight champ. I mean, you have been a pioneer and a leader in this game of MMA from the get, so I feel like you really are someone who can speak to leadership and understand it from a very real time, example. Like you live it. You are leading through this. And I can only, let's go back really quick to the beginning. Time is such a warp, girl. First of all, actually, let me say this. For those who don't know, Carla Esparza is Black Belt Beauty episode number fucking 1.
Boom, number one.
Number one. And I mean, you know, that was 2.5 years ago now, which is amazing and crazy. But, you know, and so much progress has taken place in your life, in my life, in this podcast life. And I want to talk about, you know, so being right now, you're currently ranked number 7. I just mentioned, you know, your championships, UFC, Invicta. I noticed today on social media, on Instagram, that you hold the record for the most takedowns in the UFC for women, which is so badass, by the way. Yeah, I was like, what's up? I want to talk about, how does it feel to be, you know, in this position right now where you are on this win streak, knowing also that you very well could be in the you know, position to get a title fight any minute now. Like, how is this all feeling for you, especially considering all of the challenges that I want to also tease apart with you that you've had to navigate and pivot through this year?
Well, it's really crazy because, you know, like you mentioned, being, you know, I was the first champ for my weight class in the UFC, and to kind of circle all the way back around and, you know, kind of get kicked off the ladder and just kind of have to start back over again and hit bumps along the road on that path. And, you know, just to kind of be back, you know, in this position so close to potentially another shot is just very rewarding for me. And it's something that, you know, maybe at moments I thought was not possible because, you know, this level is so difficult. There's constantly young and new faces and, you know, people evolving and getting better. And, you know, it's not easy. And, you know, I had to really take a step back. I got 2 losses in my career and in a row, which was the first time for me a couple of years ago. And it was hard. And I had to really decide, what did I want to do? You know, how was I going to let this shape me? And for me, it was, you know, I need to evolve. I need to take a step back and look at what got me here and what am I going to do to, you know, surpass this and become a better fighter and evolve and get back on the winning streak. Because, you know, sometimes when you hit your lows, it really, you know, it really forces you to take that look at yourself. And, you know, after I took that break, I feel like I've come back with a storm, you know. Like you said, I'm on a 4-fight win streak. And, you know, I think I'm only getting better.
Girl, I okay, listen, I know I'm your girl, so it's like, oh, I'm biased, but I have to, I'm saying this with all my heart because I'm a fight fan. I mean, obviously, sure. Your fights, though, man, these last fights, it's like I'm seeing you progressively you're stronger for sure. And just like technique, I just feel like you're in it in such a deeper, I don't, what's the right word, but because you've always been in it, but you've just been getting better, girl. And it's so rad because you're already badass, but it just goes to show that if you really want to continuously improve, you can, right? But you do have to do, I mean, you know, that's what I'm all about. It's like, you know, it's almost like a joke because I just feel like there's always room for growth, but you have to be willing to look at yourself where you might be coming up short, you know, and really just like get super dialed into what could I be doing that would move the needle forward, and be also committed to the process and the actions that it takes to do that. So what has been, you know, what would you attribute to some of these gains, these incredible gains that you've made that have you in this 4-fight win streak right now?
You know, for me, it was, like I said, I had to take a step back and look at what kind of got me where I was, so to speak, with my losses. You know, where am I losing? Where am I lacking? And for me, it was a size/strength advantage. It was, you know, how positionally I had lost fights off my back and on the cage. So, okay, I need to improve that. And, you know, just so many things. I kind of, those were 2 of the huge marks that I hit, though. You know, I went and I worked with the new wrestling coach who specializes in cage work, Kenny Johnson. And I spoke with people at the PI, Clint at the PI. Every single week we had meetings on the phone about, just my nutrition and my diet and, just getting stronger and lifting pre-camp with my trainer, Mike Saffaie.
No.
And, just that became a big part of my regimen. And, I feel like it really kind of gave me new life, because when you start seeing these improvements in your own game, like numbers don't lie. When I was lifting, I was just getting way stronger, like numbers that I'd never seen before. And, it just kind of gives you that motivation to see that improvement. And I think it has really made a difference and paid off in the fights for sure.
Oh, 100%. You are undoubtedly just, you are so much stronger, and I'm smiling inside out because I'm having this flashback memory to one of my favorite memories of last year, of you and I at the PI center training and lifting. And you know me, like it's when as a kid I would bench press, right? Because my dad, and he always had us benching, and and as a kid I really wasn't into it. I was like, I don't want to bench press, but I'm so grateful that he actually, now when I look back, I'm so grateful that he had us doing that at a young age, and it was fun to be in the
and
PI with you.
You're so strong, by the way.
So, thank you.
If any listeners didn't know, this woman is so freaking strong, by the way.
Thank you. It's rad because now I really, over the last decade, I've really embraced my strength, and I don't even really, it's not like when I train, I'm like trying to get a PR or anything, because I'm at an age now, and I say this not like I'm old, but just respect to, how life goes for the most part, that it's like 80-20. It's like I want to push myself to the best of my ability without bringing on injury. So it's like I don't need to, deadlift a PR or whatever. Like from my perspective, that's just how I operate. But it is fun, that day that we were training there. It was fun to hit that I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was, 135 or whatever it was, what I benched, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like a little bit, because I've always known you were strong, and you can see by like your body that you're, very athletic. But I think it was like, you had a plate on each side or something like that, and you put it up, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't think I've seen another female do that. And I was just like super impressed.
Oh, thank you. I do get curious sometimes, like, what if I actually was more consistent with that? And let's talk about this actually, because this is great, because I'm literally taking myself back to that moment of being on the bench and what that felt like, to just push that weight up. And again, that was like, I think the third time I've ever benched really in years, right? I would do a little bit with my brother, Mike. But the feeling overall, because I lift constantly, the feeling overall that you get from, that I know I get, and I want to ask you about, from feeling strong. There is something so empowering about this feeling, and the skill transfer, like the mindset transfer. For me personally, when I know, and again, I'm not pushing myself to a PR, but I'm still lifting fucking heavy weights. It's not like these little pink weights where I'm just like, it's like, no, I'm deadlifting real weights. What's your max right now, benching?
160. That's
incredible. Like, well, and it's been so fun because I've watched you progress, as you've been getting stronger, the posts of training or whatever. I mean, how does that feel for you to be able to get that weight off of you? And how does that, how is that also supporting you outside of the gym in your life?
It's like I said, it's very rewarding, seeing, because there's a lot of things where, like in training, you grab someone and you feel a certain way, but you're just like, I'm not sure, maybe they're having an off day, because you're always kind of relying on someone else. But when it comes to like time or weight, there's no lying. Those numbers are just the truth. They are what they are. And to see that improvement, like at one point it was just like I put up one plate one time on each side, which is 135, and it was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I never thought I could do this. And then now being able to like put that up 5 times and even more than that is just like, it's very rewarding, and it gives me so much confidence, just walking around in my daily life and, going into the fight, knowing that, you never, there's a lot of strong women in the division, but just knowing that me for myself have put on that much strength, it gives me like more confidence going into that fight that that's not going to be an issue, and, that nobody's going to be able to, ragdoll me around or, just kind of dominate me in the strength department.
Yeah, I can imagine for sure. That is such a confidence tool going into your fights. I'm wondering if, like, let's go back to the beginning of 2020 when you had to pivot. All of a sudden you're getting ready to fight and then shit goes down, quarantine happens, and, all the pivoting that had to come with that. Do you feel like any of that? I mean, because listen, yes, there's a physicality aspect of, obviously, of getting that heavy weight off of you, but we can't ignore the fact that there's a mindset component that has to go into that too, right? Like, you have to be, first of all, willing to tell yourself, I could fucking do this before you even fucking do this, right? So do you feel that any of that helped you? I would love to know, first of all, how you maneuvered through that process of pivoting, the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster, and if any of that really helped your mindset to be more resilient in the face of the challenges that we started this year off with.
You just mean like in the fight, or you just mean like the ups and downs?
I mean, like in life, and just, the like outside of the gym. So, because let me give you this example. It's funny. So when I train jiu-jitsu and lift and all the things I do, the running 10Ks in the sand, for sure I'm doing it for the, health benefits, for aesthetics, for all that. But what I really, really am reaching for at the core of all of those modalities of movement is the mindset pieces that you gain from each of those things. Yoga, learning how to breathe, understanding the difference between discomfort and pain, lifting for the strength, for feeling resilient, jiu-jitsu, for being comfortable in discomfort. Because all of those things, my runs in the beach, hot sun, 10K, sand, that's fucking endurance, baby. And in life, you got to have endurance, especially when you're in the game of excellence, right? It's like, so I'm curious too, it's like, one part, my question is, when you found out that the fight was potentially canceled back in April or March, April, how did you navigate through that? And did any of these gains in the gym support your mindset to help you move through the challenges, that you had to face with quarantine and COVID and fight being on and fight being off and moving fights and this and that?
I think something that kind of helped me a lot was just the experience, being a veteran in the sport. There are a lot of ups and downs and, wrenches getting thrown in the machine, and you're just like, oh my God, like there's always these different things to navigate throughout my career. Being on The Ultimate Fighter, you don't have your coaches, you're just in this house with all your opponents, and, you're away from everything. You can't talk to your family, or, there's just all these different things. And I've had opponents weigh in twice against me and then the fight's off, and, just all these emotional like ups and downs. It's almost like the experiences that you have in the cage. Sometimes you were expecting one game plan, but things totally get swung the other way, and you have to be able to deal with this adversity in the middle, like, of things, in the middle of the fire. And, that's kind of what this whole COVID thing was to me. It was just like, okay, well, Carla, you've been through this before. There's going to be ups and downs. Locations change. Doesn't matter. You do what you got to do. Like, that's not a big deal. Okay, now the date has changed. Just take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit for training, step back so we peak at the right time, just kind of taking like that certain approach to it, that logical approach. And, okay, we just have a little more time to prepare, change your diet a little bit, just do things you have to do. And then, it was a little bit difficult when, I had one of my best training sessions of my camp Thursday morning, and I get out feeling great. Can't wait to leave for my fight next week. And then it's fight canceled. I get a screenshot from one of my coaches. I'm just like, oh my God.
Girl. That sucks. That has got to suck because, I mean, for those who don't know, the amount of work that goes into fight camp on every level, you are wringing yourself out from mind to heart to body. It's just, I can only imagine. I'm not like I feel like my life is fight camp, period, straight up. So, you know, I can kind of like draw a parallel, but it's that had to have been a big blow to you to receive in that moment.
Definitely. It's not easy. It's very disheartening because, like you said, you know, fight camp, we put our everything into it. You put your heart, your soul. You push away any social stuff, your friends, your family, going out to eat, you know, going out to parties, anything. And it just, you know, you dedicate like your whole day to it, and you're tired, and you know, it's just your diet and just your recovery. There's just so much that goes into a fight camp, and you know, just to have it canceled and know that, you know, it's like, oh, that was for nothing. It kind of breaks your. It's a little heartbreaking, to be honest, and it's not easy. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I ate my feelings a little bit after I got 5 pieces of cheesecake, and I was just like, whatever, you know, just I've been working so hard, and I even tried to go back to training like a day later, and just to kind of show that, you know, that like strength to my team, you know, just like, hey, like I'm still in it, like, you know, we all got to stay tough. But it was hard. It was honestly hard for me to get through that day. And you know, I found out like a day later, like, fight's back on, and I was just kind of like it's hard to just emotionally tell yourself like, okay, well, turn it back on. Okay, I'm good to go, you know. So I'd already been in camp for over 3 months at that point. So I just kind of took a step back, and I was like, I told myself I was taking this week off, and that's what I'm going to do. I need to kind of recharge my mind and my body a little bit, and then get back to work. And that's what I did. Then just got right back to work when I said I was, and boom.
Made it happen. Go to Florida. Yeah. Win your fight. I mean, that had to have been such a crazy experience because you were the first fight in quarantine COVID. I mean, that's pretty amazing, actually. Hold on. Can we capture that for a moment? Like, girl, you have been pioneering this whole fucking way. It's insane. How was that, you know, confidence-wise, even navigating around COVID, you know, what helped you to feel confident going into that fight? Outside of just the mindset stuff and pieces that we talked about, because obviously you know there's just, you know, the invisible, what is he called? The invisible fucking enemy. This virus is like going around. Yeah, how did you navigate around that? What helped you to go forward?
Well, you know, everyone kind of has their own opinion on COVID, and, you know, whether it's a big deal or needs to be addressed or not. You know, everyone has their own thoughts on it. But for me, I'm a fighter. I step in that cage every single time knowing that I'm risking my health and injuries and, you know, whatever else going in there. And that's what I signed up for. And something like, you know, like this disease or, you know, a risk of it is not going to stop me from my path and doing what I want to do and following my dream.
Like, I don't know why that made me want to flex right now. It was so badass. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, that it makes perfect sense. I mean, your whole career is literally, it's constant challenge. It's a fight. And like you said so perfectly, it's a fight against your health, literally. I mean, you go in there and you take punches to the face, which, side note, hold on for a second. Girl, that yes! Cryotherapy facial, which I still need to come down. I want to do with you. That is incredible. Because how many weeks has it been since I don't even know what date it is. How long has it been since
I think it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That's incredible.
Yeah.
That shit was like, it was intense. It was black and blue.
No, my eye was like literally after the fight, shut solid. I had to like go like this to see anything. And, you know, I'm eating, there's nowhere to go and party after the fight. So it's like breakfast buffet it is. It's like 8 in the morning. And I'm staring at my coaches like, I'm like, what do you say? Like,
Does that ever, like, when you're in the middle of that fights like that, and something like this happened, because obviously it's going to affect your vision a little bit. Does that ever play into your mind? Like, as you're still in the motion, or are you just so dialed in at this point and, just, you have the ability to just like push that away and stay focused on what you're doing and not let, I can feel this swelling up here happening.
Well, in my mentality, like fighting is not an option. It's not something that I'm going to completely ignore and pretend it's not there, but it's something that I have to navigate and strategize with. So, let's say it's bleeding my eye. It's like, okay, let's say I was planning to stand up or, I had a certain game plan. It's like, okay, now we need to switch things up because I can't have this rip open anymore and stop the fight, So there's just kind of different things you have to strategize in that moment. And like I was, mentioning earlier, it's just there's adversity in the fight all the time. And if you're not someone who's quick on your feet and gonna switch your game plan on the fly, then you're not going to go very far in this sport, because this is not one that you can just game plan everything and it's going to go just your way.
So in saying that makes me want to ask you almost the reverse of what I asked you before. Do you feel that your ability to stay focused in adversity and pivot on the spot helps you to do the same in your life outside of the octagon?
What life outside of the octagon? No, I'm just kidding. Like fighting is something that definitely takes over your life a lot. It's such a huge part of my life. But it is something that I feel that has carried over to my life. Just that maybe that carried over to me, or maybe that was something that just carried over to my fighting. And I think that's something that's inside of me and who I am. I think my dad's like that a lot. It's just like, this happens and that happens. You don't make excuses. This problem is still there, whether you're happy about it or sad about it. You still have to deal with this and make things happen. And that's kind of my mentality with everything.
I love that. That's powerful advice. And my brother Aria said something recently that I feel should be a fucking bumper sticker, but he was like, control the controllables. And it's so, it's like very stoic philosophy. It's true. It's like, man, you can only, this thing is going to be here, whatever this thing is. And what you can control is your mindset, your emotions, and how you navigate and through it. Right. And that's got to be really supportive to you in your life, because how could it not be? Especially if we think about 2020, everybody's talking about like, oh, there's so much uncertainty. And it's like, for sure, I think uncertainty is like a hot word, but we've always been uncertain. You walk out your door and you don't know if you're ever coming back. There's uncertainty just in living, but obviously there is a different level of uncertainty that I think is playing into all of our lives right now. So it's not like it doesn't make sense to hear it more, but I feel like you do a really good job at controlling the controllables.
Yeah. And I think that's something that actually, Mike Saffaie and I talk about too, is, it's something that's come up before. It's like, you can do everything, everything right. You can do your diet right. You can do your training right, your lifting right. You can get your sleep and do your recovery. Those are like, I think, the controllables. Like, that's what you can do. But when you get in there, it's, you don't know, there's adversity. You don't know what's going to happen. There's an uncontrollable force, which can be life. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's your opponent in there. You don't know what they're going to throw at you. So yeah, I love that saying.
That's a good one, right? Control the controllables.
Yeah.
Pull that one in. So can we talk about Abu Dhabi for a minute? Because how can we not? This is historic, legit. Like, Fight Island, so cool. You were supposed to be the first card fighting on Fight Island, and then it ended up that, again, pivot because there was an issue with your opponent, and then that pushed you to be on the last fight card there. But what was that overall experience for you? Because one thing that I was thinking about, Carla, that was so gnarly, I was like, holy shit, these fighters are literally upside down for the most part, in terms of their time difference. Everyone comes from a different place, but so it's like you're fighting. I don't even know what time it was for you you know, that you were fighting, but just thinking about that. And I would just love to hear, and I know so many people listening would love to hear about your experience, period, there. It seemed fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a journey. Like, it was definitely like a mission. You know, even before we got there, it was, okay, everyone fly to Vegas. You know, that's your, fortunately I'm close, but, you know, some people are flying from the East Coast. Everyone in the U.S., fly to Vegas. You get in, you test, you quarantine until the next evening. And then, you know, and it's like, you're stuck in your room, and then you get out for like a short time, and it's just like, I'm like, okay, well, you know, which way can I run? I want to get a workout in before, you know, I have to be stuck in quarantine for another couple of days. So step out of the hotel, ask the security, which way can I run? And this hotel is exclusively like UFC fighters also. It's like, which way can I run? He's like, which way is better? You can run right or left, because either way you're running in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, okay. So do my little run, hit pads, and it's like, okay, now it's, everyone's flying, you know, they chartered like this private plane for us, which was amazing, by the way.
It looked amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely like a little sweetener for a crazy, you know, experience. And, you know, we get to Abu Dhabi, and they're just, you know, there's these people in like these, what's that little show called? Expendables, or not in the little suits.
Is it a Disney? Oh yeah, Expendables, yeah, right?
Or no?
I don't know. You're talking to the girl who, the only thing I fucking watch is UFC on the TV. Like, wrong person. I mean, I love film, but these days I don't have time for it.
Little yellow things. I totally forgot what they're called.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're talking about like the Expendables, or I'm fucking confused. But anyways, the Disney, the family, right? That can like kick ass together.
No, it's these little yellow squares with like suspenders and like overalls.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm definitely not going to know the name, but I have the visual of the thing. I see a lot of GIFs with this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it felt like. Like you get there and everyone's just like, I think of like,
yeah, these guys are like suited up like as if we're radioactive. They have the shields on and full body suits, and they're just like, the guy comes in, the guy's woo-hoo, like dancing and stuff, and like we're just like, okay, they're like trying to make it like it's a party, and then they test us. They're like, nose or mouth, you know, and I'm like, okay. And by the way, the mouth is way easier than the nose. Like the nose feels like they're touching your brain. You're just like,
so sexy. You're like,
but yeah, no, it's hard. Oh, that's so rough.
Oh, yeah. You got tested like, I don't even know how many times before you actually go to fight. I mean, that was it. You know what Abu Dhabi looked like to me, to the outsider? It looked like this blend of lavish meets, you know, and a lot of fun. Like you went race car driving and did all kinds of cool things. But then at the same time, there was obviously a lot of challenge from, you know, having to quarantine, all the testing, you know, being in this completely different environment, time zone difference. It was, yeah.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So yeah, like we tested, and then you go to your room and they give you like a menu, and this is not like the UFC cooking for you. This is like the hotel cooking for you. And you pick, and they send your food to your room, and they tape you in your room, and you're not allowed to leave, and you're stuck. And then after 24 hours, you go back to the same place, test again, and then get locked in your room for another 24 hours. So it's definitely like really crazy. Yeah, and then we get let out, and they're just like doing a documentary, and they're like, "You want to go to the beach and film?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. Please take me away from here."
Yeah.
And like into the fresh air. And you know, I normally don't really do anything like fun or different during my fight week. I'm usually kind of quarantined almost, but
yeah,
you know, when you're forced to be quarantined so much, you're just like. No, like let me out, please. And
that's funny. Do you feel like that helped anything, you know, psychologically for you? Just kind of be more relaxed about things?
Yeah, there was just like no like fight week media, and you know, like open workouts, and just like the whole, but there was no photos. We didn't do like the typical like photo shoot, you know, so it was just everything was so different, and you almost didn't feel like you were at a fight. So I just kind of was just like, I'm just gonna have fun with it. Like I'm here, and I got out a little bit. I got to go to the beach, which was super fun. It was really hot, even at 6 in the morning, and but it was really cool. And then they had a racetrack, so I was like, when am I coming back to Abu Dhabi? So I was just like, F it, like, went on a catamaran around the racetrack, which was really fun, and did bicycle on the racetrack in the morning.
That's so cool.
Just really.
The thing about you, Carla, is that you are such an adventurous woman. Like, you're always on some kind of adventure there, vacation there. You do such a good job of, I feel that you do a great job of kind of harmonizing work life with, this healthy personal social life, where you integrate fun and play, and you're very curious and exploratory in your life. And I think it's very inspiring, because I think a lot of times, it's very easy to get it's very easy to just be stuck in one zone. And I think you do a great job of investing in your friendships, nurturing your friendships, doing things that are really important for you at the same time, and then venturing out. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that, you took advantage of all these amazing things in Abu Dhabi and had a great time doing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm looking back at it. I'm really glad I did those things. And for me, life is just all about balance. And, fight camp, like I mentioned, is just so like all inclusive. You're just so focused, and everything in your life is just revolving around this camp. Your sleep schedule, your social life, your friend, just your training, just your body being drained every day, just recovery. Like literally everything is just fight, train. So for me, I just like to kind of have that balance when I'm not fighting. I like to, I don't get to spend time with my friends, and they've all kind of, they all kind of like know, and they accept that when I'm in camp, we're probably not going to chat, and we're probably not going to be able to hang out. But afterwards, I'm going to give you my all, and make time for you, and because I love my friendships and my relationships, and it's like anything, you get out what you put in, and when I have time, I definitely like make an effort to put time into my friendships, and even into my, just like you said, adventuring and doing cool things, because when I'm in camp, I'm basically in isolation, and, I just like to have definitely that balance.
As your girl, I can validate everything you're saying. I love your focus, and I think it's really important. Just as an entrepreneur myself, like right now, I'm in the grind. I've got 4 projects. I'm being created that will be shared at the end of the year, and all kinds of things happening. And so it's like real time for me, where my head is in deep in the grind, and I don't have time. Let me frame it like this. I'm prioritizing my time to be fully all in and invested over here in the work zone. Which when I get kind of through this period right here, this chapter, for sure, then I'm going to step back out, and I'm going to, have more social life situations, whether it's a phone call or going out to see, in which I can't wait for all that. But I think, you're right. You do that so well. And I think that your real friends, because I know this to be true in my life, your real friends are people who really understand and are agile with you. And if anything, being agile with you is also in support of you, right? Like, no one's going to put this demand on you. I mean, what was it? Before one of your fights, I think it was before the Florida fight, you and I were texting or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to shut down. Not, you didn't say I'm going to shut down, but it was like, I'm going to go into fight mode. And there was like, can we talk about, whatever until after the fight? And that was like a month out, and I love that about you. And I was like, fuck yeah, like, focus, do your thing, girl. And I'm here, and I'm always here. Right. But I think I just want to point this out, because friendships, relationships are really, really important. It's part of holistic health, just like well-being. It's part of health, period. And so, I want to really bring to surface how well you do in this space of loving your friendships, nurturing your friendships, and, also having friends that have your back. I think like attracts like. It's like, they have your back. Carla's got to focus. Carla's got to shut off her fucking phone, because Carla's going into You, hey, Carla, but you know, we're all right here, like ready for you, you know, behind
For
you.
sure. And I think, you know, a true friend, like you said, they want what's best for you. So they support you in whatever steps you need to take for that, even if it's, I know I don't get to see you for a certain amount of time, but you're doing your thing. And I think it's just kind of communicating that and letting them know it's like, it's not a personal thing. It's not, I don't want to talk to you. This is just like how it is. And obviously most of my friends have been in my life for a long time. So they already know the routine. Like, that's how it is. You know, I'm probably not going to talk to you for this amount of time, but you know, I support you, girl. Go do your thing, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, and then we'll be celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, like you said, friendships are super important. And you know, I only have so much of me like to give, so I definitely tend to keep my circle like relatively like small.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I surround it like you called it, my tribe.
Yeah.
But the people in my group are just, I have so much respect for all of them, and I just love them, and you being one of them. And you know, it's just, I just feel blessed, and I feel like it makes me better. You know, I get different perspectives from people who are kicking ass in their respective fields and in their life. You know,
totally.
and it, you know, it's just iron sharpens iron, you know?
No, you're so right. Yeah, for sure. Because you are a friend that inspires me, you know, the way that you do your life, the way, everything that you're going for, and just really like you in the process of it, you know, it's inspiring because I'm in my own fight. I'm in my fucking fight. I'm literally in a fight right now, like just in life with, like I said, with the work stuff that's happening, which is all amazing. By the way, all my choice, by the way, fucking awesome shit. Like I'm thriving. It's just when you're in it, it's like, it's just the pressure and the challenges, it's all so very real, you know? And it's so helpful to have these examples, my girls who are literally leading by example, badassery, you know, and who are empowered in their life, who, you know, all my girls, you know, there's a through line, man. There's many through lines, you know, and one of them is, you know, you don't make excuses. There's no victim shit. Like, you're fucking own yourself. You own whatever challenges and all the hardships that come, and you do your best every day to win them, to move forward in the fight and win. Yeah, it's inspiring.
For sure.
Okay, pivot, because that's what we're good at doing. I want to ask you, being that you are so adventurous, I would love to know, is there something on your wish list in your life that you have not yet experienced that you want, like, I don't know, is it skydiving? Is it, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I feel like you have a list. And you've already done so much.
Yeah, you know, like there's so many things out there to do. Gosh, it's just, there's not really like so many set things. It's just like, I can't wait to go to a new place and kind of, and discover almost these new challenges, you know, to do. Like when I was in, you know, I was, where was I, in Utah, and then we went to Zion, and I never even heard of canyoneering. And, you know, we're rappelling down like a couple 100 feet and wall climbing and this crazy adrenaline stuff. And I didn't even know this type of stuff like really existed. And here I am, like on the most adventurous day of my life, you know. Some things are so crazy and I don't even know what they are yet, but I can't wait to do that, you know.
That's awesome.
I would definitely love to, you know, climb a mountain and, you know, do all these cool things. I want to go whitewater rafting, and I want to go, like, you know, there's a lot of places I want to go, and, you know, people I want to see, but, you know, I can't wait to like discover these new adventures.
Yeah, I'm all excited. I'm like, where am I going with you? What am I doing? Like, going on an adventure with you. I want to ask you, what's the hardest thing about being a professional fighter?
You know, that's a really hard question, because it's hard to like pinpoint what's super hard when you really love what you do. But I guess I would say the hardest thing is, this is a sport of high highs and low lows. And like I said, we put our everything into our fight camps and into our fights. And, you know, sometimes you fall short because it's something, you know, unexpected, an injury or something that happened in your life, whether it's, because, you know, you were slacking during your camp and you know, take that responsibility, you know, after your fight, like, I could have done this better. Or sometimes someone's just better than you, and that's just the facts of it, you know, and it's hard to fall short for whatever reason. I would say that's definitely the hardest part of this sport.
What would you say is your favorite part of being a professional fighter?
I mean, like the opposite, getting my hand raised and, you know, just seeing all your, you know, hard work come into fruition in the fight. And I guess for me, one of the most rewarding things is, you know, like we mentioned, when you're finding these improvements and you're doing these things to kind of evolve, and just kind of like seeing that come into fruition, not necessarily like the win, because you could have a horrible performance for yourself and still win, but just kind of like, I've been working so hard on this one move and I pulled it off, or I've been working so hard on getting my, you know, strength up or my jujitsu, and I was able to like really implement that, and just kind of seeing one thing translate like directly into the fight, for me, is my favorite part, probably.
It's like progress, right? I love progress so much. I'm addicted to it. So I feel like performance is obviously your life, right? And when I think about a high performer, I definitely am thinking about Carla Esparza. And one thing that I know to be true about being a high performer, being one myself, is that recovery is a fundamental piece to it. It's like I have my morning ritual, my evening ritual, and this is time for me to just recover, to get myself ready to either charge in the day or get some good rest. And I can't imagine being able to function at the level that I function, which is high performing throughout the day, whether it's training or work or all of it, you know, without having a recovery program. So I would love to talk about recovery with you, because this is obviously a huge part of your life, of your career. And specifically, I would love to talk about if you have any kind of stress management tips that you think would be supportive to our, you know, viewers or listeners right now, because obviously we're living in some fucking stressful times, girl. So I'm sure that they, you know, getting some tips from a pro like you could be really supportive.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for my recovery, it's just I feel like I put so much time into my like stuff to prevent injuries and recover. It's like almost like another job in itself. You know, aside from like the training, it's like you get up, you eat, you know, I walk my dog, then I train, and then break, and then train. It's like everything in between. I show up, you know, 30 minutes to an hour early, and I pull out my whole little, I have my foam roller, I have my little golf ball, I have my like baseball, I have my, you know, my muscle hammer massage gun, you know, I have like all these things. And, you know, it's like I'm hitting my feet with the golf ball, and I'm doing this and that, and I'm warming up, and I'm, you know, doing these active stretches and just doing this whole process. And, you know, this is something where if I had to tell myself 10 years ago, you know, what's one thing you would tell yourself? It would be this, to do all of these things. Because if you're injured, you can't fight, you can't compete, you can't train, you can't do anything, you know? So it's almost like as important of a job to prevent these injuries as it is to get your training in and do all the other things. So that's like my pre-training process. And then afterwards, you know, I go to OC Fight Docs, and they do like massage, and they do, you know, ice, and they do tecker therapy, and like all these things. And after a heavy lifting session with Mike, I do my cryotherapy, and you know, that's not easy because I do not like the cold. And every once a week at least, I get a full body massage, you know. So it's just all this whole thing, and I do 2 Epsom salt baths a week, 1 or 2 at least. You know, just to like kind of just get my whole body like recovered, and just kind of eating also to supplement like my recovery as well, which that's a whole nother thing in itself. But there's just there's a lot that goes into taking care of my body, you know.
Yeah, you do a good job of that. That inspires me. I want to be doing more Epsom salt baths. They're so good for you, so relaxing.
Yeah. It's so nice. It's just like your treat. It's like a spa day.
Well, yeah.
You know?
It's self-care, right? I mean, it's obviously a tool that's important for you in your career, the physicality part of your career. So it's very strategic in that way too. But it's definitely a part of of just like loving on yourself and wanting to feel good and to stay healthy, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's really huge. Like you said, self-care. You know, who's going to take care of you the best? You.
You, exactly. Okay, so this question just popped up in my mind, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. What does a champion mean to you?
A champion to me is just, I don't think you have to have a medal or a belt or, just, some kind of trophy to make you a champion. I think it's a mindset, it's a mentality, because there's some people who don't do, a competition, who don't live a competition lifestyle. They live their daily life, but you can still be a champion if you approach things in your life with that championship mentality. And, I think that's really huge. It's just, just being your own best and doing everything to the best of your ability. And just, whether that, taking care of your kids or going to the gym and just knowing that you gave it your all and, approaching it with a certain type of mentality. Okay, I have to plan it out this way. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's just, there is so much that goes into being the best at a daily life. And I really think that's what makes someone a champion.
I love it. You would know, girl. You would know. Okay, so I am so excited. I want to talk about beauty before we start to wrap up this amazing conversation. I love talking about beauty with you. It's so fun because you're a girl who loves all of this stuff that is being a girl, being a woman at heart. We've had fun shopping experiences and I can't wait to do it again with you. I've had the pleasure of doing your makeup, which is such a joy for me. Can't wait to do that again. We rap out a lot about, different, beauty products that we love. And so, for our girls, like, obviously, because, being a fighter, this is one thing the UFC is so great at. It's just like, you got men, you got women, and there's respect on both sides that is very level, right? At least that's what it feels to from the outside. And, but typically, we think like fighting is such a, it tends to be more male dominant, right? Which clearly that's not the case. And I love that contrast of just like, I mean, listen, you live a fucking life of violence. And at the same time, you're like, so Rox, what foundation do you think? And puts on your heels and all that. So I want to know, first of all, what makes you feel beautiful? What are some things that make you feel beautiful? Whether it's product, whether it's a ritual, like something you do every day, something like that. What makes you feel beautiful?
Gosh, that's a tough one. Like, I think just, kind of like, I love putting in like that extra little effort, whether that's, just something out of my routine, I guess. And, of course you want to feel like beautiful every day, but, for me, that's not like a realistic where I can like dress up and be my best. Everyone has their favorite outfit or something they feel like really special about. Like, I love when I get a cute, like if it's just a training, I get a cute new outfit that matches really nice. I'm just like, I'm feeling good about myself today. And, just, like a new makeup product or something just kind of makes you feel a little extra special. But I would say like probably my most favorite moments of, feeling like girly and special are getting my makeup done, like you've done my makeup before, which was so amazing. It just, we all have our things that we do. Like mine is fighting, yours is like makeup, and just having someone who's just so good at something that just makes you just can do something for you and to you that you can't do yourself, just makes you feel extra special. And I love that feeling.
I love it. It's fun. Yeah. As you know, I mean, I don't usually get my makeup done, obviously, being a makeup artist for almost the majority of my life, but I have had, like when my girl does my hair, my girl Tanya, it's a beautiful feeling to just sit there and have this artist, do their thing. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, it feels so good. It feels good.
Yeah, well, that'd be hard for you because you're just so next level. I feel like if that was me, I'd almost be like critical. Well, I know how I like this, and this looks better right here. Like, I wouldn't be able to just enjoy it. But for me, like, I'm like, you know, a white belt with a couple of stripes that do my makeup. So, you know, to have someone who's just so good at, you know, what they do, you're just like, like, this is something I can't do on my own. I love it, you know?
I actually do know, because when I have had the opportunity to train jiu-jitsu with you, it's that feeling of like, oh my gosh, look at her body pressure on me and how fluid she moves. It's like capturing these little things where I could just appreciate, you know, having, even though, so, I mean, for you, you're like, okay, I don't really, let me say it like this. Actually, you're really good at doing your makeup, okay? So it's not like you don't know what's going on, but yeah, okay, you're a white belt. You still have a belt though. But in jiu-jitsu, it's like, I'm over here with fucking badass Carla Esparza, and she's, you know, doing her thing on me, and I'm like, you know, trying to survive or whatever, and but like capturing, like, holy shit, look how she just did that. I'm in this position now. Yeah, I'm so safe. I'm like, it's just so, I'm relating it, I'm flipping it back at you that I can relate to it from our experiences of training jiu-jitsu, which I can't wait to train again. Can't wait to do it all again.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to. We'll talk more later.
I know, seriously. Is there anything in the beauty world that's really inspiring you right now? Like, is there colors or, I don't know, just some fun stuff about beauty, because you're one of my girls that I love to talk about beauty with? Something different?
You know.
Wait, hold on. I have to say this, because I know I ain't the only one. Girl, in your last fight, fucking hand gets raised and you're there. And I'm like, look at, I know you had the eye thing happening. Like, yo, Carla's brows are on fire right now. Your eyebrows, they're like so good. They're fucking so good. So I had to throw that in, because I don't know if that's part of your answer, but I had to make that official. Brows.
Yeah, well, we talked, you and I consulted with you before I did my eyebrows, and I got the powder brow at Fusion Artistry, and it's just, I've gotten so many compliments on this since I've gotten it, and I just love it, you know, like, it changed my shape, and it was outside of my comfort zone. I was just like, oh, I do them like this, but they're like, no, like this, you know, totally changed the shape and filled them in and all this, but it's grown on me, you know, like the change, and I love them. And I've gotten a lot of compliments, even with my eye busted out to here. Like, people are still like, "Oh, your eyebrows are looking pretty nice."
It's legit. It's so perfect. Is it hard to maintenance, or is it?
Not at all. I just, you know, pluck around, and the shape is pretty much there. You know, it's so easy. I pretty much don't do anything. Just wake up and go to training. I woke up like this, you know, like.
It makes such a difference. Your eyebrows being on makes you look more awake and polished, right? Like, just when they're more structured, and yeah. It's like, even if you got nothing else on, but you got your brows on, you're like game on.
No, I absolutely love it. I love it. And it's just, when you go to training, like, you can't have makeup on. If you do, it's weird, because you're rubbing your face on other people's bodies and shirts, you know. It's like, if they have like a face print on their white shirt, it's not the best thing, you know. So just having like your eyebrows, at least, it makes a difference, and it does give you that extra little feeling of, you know, feeling pretty, and like you have, you know, something on, you know. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I always have some kind of makeup on, and, you know, when I was a little girl and I was a competitive runner and who wanted to go to the Olympics and everything, FloJo was my idol. And I don't know if you know who she is, but she was the fastest woman in the world, like such a fucking badass. And, you know, different sport, obviously she's not, you know, grappling and shit, but like, homegirl had hair done, had like sick, crazy eye makeup, her nails, her outfits. It was always so inspiring. And it really, you know, when I train jiu-jitsu, I definitely have some stuff on, and I have been known to put some, you know, makeup on gis and shit, but there's something about just feeling, you know, it's more of like the process, and then, okay, yeah, I have this on, but it's this moment of connection with myself that I get to just enjoy and feel like I'm putting on my superwoman kind of armor and like readiness, you know. And it just, it's amazing that makeup can be that, you know, kind of tool for some women. I mean, for some women it's not, you know, but for me, I mean, obviously I love it, made a career for the better part of my life out of it. But I think that it's really, it's fun to talk about it from like with women like you too, because even though you know, you don't wear makeup when you train necessarily, but you just pointed out some things like you feel a certain way, but from just having your brows done. And that feeling it translates into your performance, right?
For sure. For sure. No, it's definitely, it's nice to feel nice, even if like you're not trying to impress anybody, but just kind of feeling that, like that self-confidence of just, you feel good about yourself is a really nice feeling.
Yes. I love it. Okay. So final part of the podcast, before I get to this magic wand question that I like to ask all my guests, I just want to ask you, is there anything that you wish you were asked more about, or that we didn't talk about in this episode yet, that you want to live in this talk?
You know, something that you actually taught, I was going back and forth with you about, like, was just starting a new facial regimen, like for my skin regimen. And I'm kind of a little bit lost because, you know, I've always been like blessed with good skin over my life,
Yes.
but I'm in my 30s now, and it's just like, oh, this isn't gonna last forever. Like what? And you know, it's been really nice, like kind of having you to bounce things off of and try, like I've been trying my the Beauty Counter, like the vitamin C serum, and then the moisturizer, and then like the night facial peel, and you know, just those little things. I got it like a couple weeks before my fight, and my fight got extended by a week because my opponent's head coach tested positive for COVID. So this last fight was extended again. So, which actually worked out in a lot of ways for me, but one of the little tiny ways that I was a little bit happy, I was like, yay, I have my time to like let this stuff sink into my skin. And I was like really stoked on that.
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, this aging process, right? Where you're like, oh, the collagen isn't going to stay that way. And it's like, it's already kind of hard to deal with that mentally and manage that just as a human. But when you're someone that is on, you know, on TV, in front of the cameras often too, it makes it trickier. You know, I mean, I know that to be true in my own life. You know, now my, you know, podcast is video, and obviously we have Instagram, and there's all, you know, it's always happening. I mean, I really do value a proper skincare regimen, in addition, obviously, to lifestyle. So we know food, we know sleep, we know training. That's obviously a big part of it. But I love that you brought that up, because it really does make a difference if you're using products that are strategically going to support. It's not this like, listen, we're all going to age. We're all going to end up in that place at one point or another. But it's this idea, for me at least, of like, how can I push out my health span? How can I keep these wrinkles and this collagen, like keep the wrinkles away and keep the collagen as supple as I can? And for me, I prefer to do it holistically, you know, naturally. So with products that are as clean as possible and, you know, more lifestyle. But it's certainly something that I rely on, right? Like having a proper skincare regimen. And it is not something that I ever fucking slack on. And I've been very diligent with this skincare process since I was a teenager. And I think that in addition to everything else I saw, it has been so supportive. So I love that you're loving the products. Beauty Counter is a shit. That overnight peel, girl, is like, I feel like you get instant gratification from it. Wake up and you're like more dewy. Dewy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like everything's been great. And I want to try more things. Like there's so much stuff out there and so much knowledge. It's almost like, I feel like I'm constantly in life coming on new things, and I get upset that I am not like proficient in them. Like whether it's little things around the house that are broken down, I'm like, how come I don't know how to fix this? Or I don't know what to do, or cooking. It's like, okay, well, I can do these couple things, but there's this whole other world of like things to learn. And it's almost like approaching like mixed martial arts. Like you're in this sport and it's never ending, and you're never going to know everything if you did it for the rest of your life. And it's just this constant like growth and things to learn. And I'm constantly finding things like that. And like I said, I'm finding that with the skincare. I'm just like, there's so much knowledge that I don't have. And it's great to be able to have you to bounce off of. Even when I wasn't able to talk to you about like everything, like I just went to your thing and I was just like, oh, well, I know that you're only going to put things on here that like
on the website
that, you know, that represent your name, because, you know, you're just like, I'm putting it out there and this goes back on me. So for me, that was just like an easy go-to, you know.
I love that. Yeah, integrity is huge for me. If I'm sharing anything, whether it's the food or the beauty or the friend that I think you should connect with or the book, it's like, it's because I fully believe in it. I'm not sold on marketing. I've done deep research. I've had experiences. It's like, I'm like team, whatever that thing is. And so I'm like, cool, I want to share it with, cause then, then it's like this, you want to share the love kind of thing. So, yeah, you're right. And I love that, it's amazing to have Black Belt Beauty to help facilitate even my closest girls who can fucking call me and be like, yo, but you're like, oh, actually, I'm in Abu Dhabi or what I was just saying, but I could just go to her website and like get this thing. Okay. So I have this question that I love to ask all my guests. And it's essentially, I want you to imagine that you have a magic wand, because you totally do. And with this magic wand, you can integrate a positive habit that would, let me start all over. So I want to ask you this question that I ask all guests before the end of the episode. I want you to imagine that you have a magic wand, and I want you to imagine that you have the ability with this wand to give the masses some kind of habit that would have an extreme positive ripple effect in their life. So whether it could be anything, girl, from a mindset, a way, the way you start your day, to the friends you keep around, like just anything that you think if more people had this, habit in their life, it would support their life at a very high level.
Wow. Like, I guess I'd have to just reflect back and kind of see what has been the most effective for me. And I guess one of the most effective things in my life has just been surrounding myself with, people that are just quality and even like better than me in a lot of ways, and just trying to like just be only surrounded by positive things so that I could, just be influenced even when I'm not being told something. It's not like, well, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do, but just by having that influence of seeing what they do and just having conversations with people, even when they're not trying to teach me a lesson, I feel like I'm learning all the time. And whether that's my coaches, my dads, or my dad, or my friends, or, my mom, or anyone, it's just, I think that's been one of the biggest contribiters to my success. So.
I love that. That's awesome. I'm with you on that. It's like surround there's a, saying you are, basically it's like the 5 or 6 people that, you surround yourself with the most. It's like you are a piece of them, there's a reflection there. And so I fully believe that. And I think that that's an awesome thing to integrate into the masses. So thank you for sharing that. Are you ready, my girl, for final rapid? These are not, so rapid words. Here we go. Hold on. I got to start over because I looked at the wrong place. Ready? This is the result of me fucking sitting. I'd never sit this long. Okay. Ready? Go. Okay. I want to call you Carlacita. My Carlacita. So the last part of this conversation, I do rapid words. So rapid fire words, which does not mean that you need to give rapid answers. I want you to elaborate with as much meaning and thought as you want, but I'm just going to shoot some words at you, and whatever comes top of mind and top of heart, I want you to just throw it back at me.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay. First word is love.
Family, friends.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Okay. Let me fix this hair before we move forward. Okay. Ready? Wait, hold on. I may have blown it on the hair today, but that's okay. It looks better in real life, but that's fine. Survive. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Next word is fear.
Failure. I feel like the biggest contributor of failure is fear.
I love that. I almost thought it was reversed, like you were afraid of failure, but then that pivot, that full explanation was perfect. I back that up. Okay, next word is courage.
Success. I feel that having courage, you know, to do things even when they're not easy and you're scared is what can give you success.
I love it. Confidence.
Confidence. Can that be the answer?
Yes.
I feel like
snap.
I love confidence. I love that in people, and I think it's just a great quality. And I feel like I love seeing a confident person walk into a room. They don't even have to say anything. Their body language and their presence just kind of says it all.
I love it. I love it. Passion.
Life. For me, like, my life is all about passion. I even have this tattoo on my shoulder, and the flames, it's a wrestling ring, and with wrestlers in it, and the fire that I have around it basically represents like passion in life, and that's passion in my relationships, passion in my like drive and doing what I love, and just everything in my life I feel like is just, I love passion.
I love it too, girl. I'm with you. It's like, it's such a beautiful energy to be living from and with through life. Like, it keeps you moving forward, right? I love it.
Definitely.
Keeps you excited. It keeps you all kinds of things. I'm passionate. I'm passionately thinking about what I'm going to eat after our talk. I'm getting excited about it. Okay, next word is curiosity.
Killed the cat. No, I think curiosity is such a cool thing to have, and I think it can lead to so many like adventures and exciting things. Like, I feel like, you know, I've had curiosity when I've been traveling and in life, and just to talk to a certain person or to do a certain thing, and, you know, just having like the kind of confidence just to be like, let me go explore on this a little bit. And I always, of course, like, you know, make sure like the situation's safe and everything, but you know, that mentality has kind of like led me to so many amazing adventures and people and things, and it's just a cool thing to have. It's just that curious mind.
I feel like you are such a curious human, and it's so fun to be friends with someone who, I mean, I think that's a through line in my community, honestly, my tribe, because curious also just like how I can keep getting better, just curious in life. And I think I'm backing up everything you said so beautifully, because I think it's an essential piece also to staying passionate and staying very youthful, right? It's like there's this question mark that drives you forward to investigate. And that is very exciting. That really stimulates you, like going back to passion. I'm curious about, should I have bison? Should I have fish? Anyways, going on. Okay. Okay. Next question is, sorry. Oh my God. Food. Okay. Hold on, collecting myself. Okay. Okay. 2 more words. Next word. 2 more is resilience.
Resilience. Let me see. Like, that just makes me think of like adversity, and you know, I feel like everyone is gonna have some type of adversity in their life, and just you know, having resilience is, you know, that's just gonna set people apart, you know, because we can't control the things that are thrown at us and the situations that we're born in, but just having that resilience and, you know, that ability like to push through things is, you know, what makes you makes you happy and makes you successful in life, no matter what, because nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Love it. Love it. Last word. Excellence.
Excellence. Just makes me think of getting like your gold star when you're like when you're in school. Like,
those shiny gold stars.
I just, man, I just strive. Like that's what I want to strive to be. That's what I want. Like I want to be excellent at everything, and you know, like it can be a downfall too because nobody can be excellent at everything. It makes me think of just being competitive, you know. But yeah, we can strive for excellence, but I always want to strive to also be content with whatever I'm able to do if I gave things my all. It's my excellence.
I love it. Yeah, process. That's it, girl. That is it. So this is round 2 with my girl, Carla Esparza. I love you. I am so proud of you, truly. Not just, you know, for all your accomplishments, you know, career-wise, that's incredible. That's amazing. I'm just proud of who you are as a human and how you walk through your life, you know, how you treat humans, the experience that is Carla Esparza, because you are, you know, you're genuine, man. You're you're generous and loving, and I'm proud to be your girl. So thank you for for spending this afternoon with me. I love you.
I love you, girls. Thank you so much for having me on for the second time.
For round 2.
And I'm so proud of you, this podcast. This is so awesome, and I'm glad I'm able to be a part of it again.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to put it, but it'll be in the show notes. All of our listeners that want to stay in tune with you, Instagram, probably the best place. I know that there's Twitter as well, right?
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter, Carla Esparza 1, and Carla Esparza on my Facebook fan page, if that's your thing.
Perfect. All right, you girls. Oh my God, I need to eat. I meant to say, all right, you guys. Hold on. Let me give us an outro, okay?
Why don't we say, all right, you girls?
I know we can't, but there's boys that, I know, you're right, actually. Should I keep that in? That's actually great. All right, you girls. All right, you guys. Like, why do these guys generalize everything? Oh my God, I need to eat. Okay, everyone, you know what to do. Tune into my girl. Watch her as she moves through life, and whenever your next fight is, fucking cheer her on. I love you, girl. Thank you so much again. You guys, catch you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.